Well, hello there, and welcome back to World of Warships. I'm Corny Swiss, and today, this game I'm presenting here is a pretty special game. In my Warspite, of course, because, quite frankly, since open beta started, this is kind of the only ship that I can reliably win in. What's interesting is that in the CBT, I looked at my final statistics, and they were pretty good across. I felt like they were pretty good across the board. I felt like, I had a good showing. Get to OPT, and look at my damage output. Average damage is up. Look at my kill to death ratio. That's higher. So across the board, my statistics are better in the OBT, but my win rate is about, I think, 15% lower. I think the difference is between 41-ish to 42% win rate and a 56% win rate in the CBT. But I mean, I haven't played a ton of games, and I think it might just be variance. Once I play more games, I think it'll even out, but it is frustrating. But you have some games like this where it kind of pays off in the end. So what's happening in this battle? This is the Two Brothers map. There's two giant hills or mountains in the middle. There's a channel to sail down that I will never ever sail down because it's just a death trap, and I play a lot of battleships, so I don't want to go down there. And the way the teams have sort of divided up is interesting. The enemy have most of their ships on this side, which is fine. I'm down for that. Fuso in my range, not where he wants to be. First salvo goes in slightly behind, but we score a Citadel hit, so that's always good. 2 hits, one of them for a Citadel. That's something the Warspite does really, really well, is score Citadel penetrations, and part of it is that it has 15-inch guns, before other ships get them. So I think, the Fuso, for example, has 14-inch guns, and that extra inch of caliber makes a difference, significant difference. Unfortunate salvo there. Would have been nice to hit that guy, but my job won't be to destroy or to knock out destroyers. My job's going to be to destroy battleships and cruisers and bring big guns to bear against these guys. And basically protect our guys. So the Fuso's making the right decision, and he's trying to sail away, which, good on him, I guess. That's what he needs to do, because his only advantage over me is range. Sure, he has more guns, they're lower caliber, damage output's lower, and my armor's better, so there's not really a winning situation for him if he continues to close the distance against me and these cruisers. But that's kind of the battleship's role, I guess, to speak to more of what my job is that all these cruisers are going to get outranged by some of these guys, and they generally don't bring big caliber guns to the table, 152 millimeter guns, 127 type deal. So my guns bring that extra punch that are going to knock targets out, where, enemy Warspite, it's a very dangerous foe. Just before he disappears, I get the salvo off. Hopefully those hit. You can watch him go in. Oh, those are going to hit. Gadoosh. Some good solid damage into him. And if you haven't given World of Warships a try, I strongly encourage you to do so now that it's in open beta. It's just a very solid game, and even though I'm not winning very often, I'm still having fun, and that's critical. Next salvo is off towards the Warspite. I'm starting to come under fire here, but it's not that concerning because, for example, the Warspite hasn't shot me yet. Oh, there was a big hit, and he's on fire. He's not happy. But when I look at what's in front of me, I'm not scared of any of these ships individually. I'm only scared of their combined power and turning away from the destroyers, and that Warspite's going to go down. Just a matter of when. He's probably not going to get another salvo off. Take some hits from another battleship, looks like a Wyoming. Shots out. Those should sink the Warspite, no need to watch them in. Now we need to figure out a different target. There we go. Warspite's down. So I have a couple options here. The enemy have generally been beaten back now. They are capping our zone, and I didn't mention it during the during this recording, but I actually wasn't worried about them capping the zone. I looked at what we had back there and realized we had the resources to reset. It was going to come up down to my teammates to do it, but there was no need to devote additional resources to trying to reset the cap. And quite frankly, if I go back to reset the cap, I don't think we win, because these guys are able to reposition and maybe hammer our guys who are attacking from the east, and I don't think it works out any better. Also, I'm too slow to really make a difference at this point. So, not a huge deal for me going back, and our guys are able to handle it. And that was kind of a critical moment in where this game went from being a solid game to a special game, was that decision. Because if I had gone back, basically nothing from killing the Warspite on would have happened, right? And you're going to see what happens after that point. So the rest of my team has basically swarmed the enemy who are trying to cap, and the scores are 3-2, so there's not really a disadvantage, but the enemy are very much so on the run. And I'm waiting for this Wyoming to turn so I can get the full broadside and really lay into him with this next salvo. Because the Warspite, once you get those guns on target, and oh, that's an enemy destroyer, I'm taking hits, so this is a key decision. This is one of the biggest things you have to learn how to play as a battleship. So I know there's a destroyer to my side. I immediately cut my speed and start maneuvering. I need to throw off his torpedo aim. I've cut my speed. Now I'm going to turn in. Because my guns don't turn very fast, I'm going to bring my guns to bear, fire, and then speed up and try and turn away. Basically not giving... And he ran aground, so that's unfortunate for him. Basically, I don't want to give him an opportunity to fire those torpedoes off. And there he goes. But now I'm immediately hammering the throttle open, because if he launched torpedoes there, they're on their way, assuming I'm not going very fast. You know, I'm assuming he's using the aim assistance, because most people do. So I immediately hammer open the throttle, and it's time to just put this thing in gear and start kind of separating from where I think the torpedoes are coming from. Now, because I know what happens, he didn't actually get to launch torpedoes, which is good. It could have been really, really bad if he had. But now I'm engaging in a long-range gunnery duel with two enemy battleships, a Fuso and a Wyoming. Now, the Wyoming I have zero fear of. It's a rank 4 battleship. He doesn't have particularly powerful guns. The Fuso, on the other hand, has enough power, raw firepower to be a problem. But I've angled my armor, not taking much damage, and I didn't fire that salvo because it was unlikely I would get the full hit. And when he comes around that headland, I am going to get the first fire. I'm going to get to fire first. So, and I should be able to really line up and think about this shot. So there he is. Aim well, fire the salvo before he gets to, and immediately start pulling a hard turn to starboard. Not a ton of damage on the salvo, which is unfortunate, but immediately pull the hard turn to starboard, because there's his salvo. And notice how little damage I took there. If I had been full broadside, those would have hit and caused damage, but instead I was angled, and his shells just bounced off the side of my armor. And most of them actually just missed. Now I stayed angled for that Wyoming as he also crossed the gap, but he didn't shoot me. And now this Fuso is going to start focusing on the enemy or allied cruisers rather, that are facing him. Which is probably the best move for him, because the cruisers are going to be what really cause the meat of the damage right now, unless I score Citadel penetrations. Which is not a hard thing to do in the Warspite. It's very powerful in that regard. But he is completely boned. He's at close range against an American cruiser. They have him on fire. This guy is stuffed. He's not doing anything now. I've slowed down to half speed just so I can get this salvo off. And then I'm going to open up turn on the engine and really start going forward. I knock out one of his gun turrets. That's always good on a battleship. Open up the throttle, and I want to clear this little rock so I can get kind of the killing blow into him. You know, and start using my damage repairs to get more health back. I mean, this guy's going to die. I just kind of want the kill because I've been kind of dueling him for a while now. You know, he was one of the first targets I shot at, so I really want to kill him. And in actuality, they are going to... I feel like they might have needed my guns to help finish this guy off. He's starting to repair, so that salvo is going to do about 2100 damage. Bam. Got him. Always satisfying when you sink someone like that. Well, when you sink them after you've been fighting them all game long. But I'm kind of off by my lonesome here, and the enemy are really in a bind. They need to reset the cap, which they're trying to do. And that destroyer just launched a torpedo salvo, this Wyoming, but the Wyoming is actually going to completely dodge every bit of the torpedo salvo. Destroyer captain said, you know, hey, Sid, he really wanted to get that kill with his torpedoes, but all of them missed. So, you know, and that happened. One penetration into his, I guess, magazine, and it detonated for 30,000 damage. And that secured the high caliber and a devastating strike because he was damn near full health. Well, he wasn't all the way near full health, but you get the point. That was a lot of damage. 30,000 damage from one shell, basically. That's pretty cool. So, and that basically told me, alright, I'm not going to help Cap. Now, I'm sailing directly for the Cap Circle, and if I was playing purely to win the game, I would sail into the Cap Circle and start duking out with these guys, because I am 100% confident in my ability to destroy these targets at close range with my armor, my guns, my secondaries. I'm fit for that. My secondaries will engage them at about 6 kilometers, so if we get to within that, they're done. I win. Because I'm going to outrange their secondaries, and my secondary is going to light them on fire, then my big guns are just going to pound holes in them. So, and the enemy only have 3 ships left. Now, what I'm instead going to do is I've set a course for the edge of the Cap Circle. And basically my goal is I want to be on the edge of the Cap Circle so I can duck in if I need to, but I'm not going to sail into it. And that is 100% because I want more kills, I want more damage, I want more XP, you know? It's kind of selfish, but we don't really need to cap. We have plenty of time, and all 3 enemy ships are coming back here. One of them in particular, the Pensacola, is very low health. We're faced with a Myogi, which I have no fear of, and something else. Some other cruiser. I think it's a Ioba or something like that. Regardless, it doesn't really matter. Now, I missed that entire salvo, which is unfortunate. But there's the last 3 ships on the enemy team, and they're all coming back to reset. It's not even a given that they'll be able to reset the cap. Right? So I'm just going to stay over here and just keep pounding these guys as they come in. The Pensacola is starting to kind of break away, and he's going to try and get sneaky flank shots into me. Myogi's starting to open up. I'm going to turn the ship to try and avoid some of the damage. But he actually is going to have some success hitting me. Now, that first salvo really didn't do anything, but you'll see what I mean. We're just about to cap, really. But the Myogi is going to make it into the Cap Circle, which fully stops our cap. And I think the Destroyer is actually going to bug out and give up the Cap Circle, which is probably the right decision to do because he's going to be spotted and he's more valuable being alive. There's the Ioba. So he's very dangerous. He's much more dangerous than the Myogi. So I fire a salvo his way, and that was a pretty solid hit. Nice fat citadel penetration. I thought about aiming my next salvo for him, but I am going to change my mind if I'm not mistaken and go for the Pensacola, who's on low health and is probably a little more dangerous to me right now. And you know, I like kills. Kills are nice. I'm looking for number 6. There we go. And Gudoosh. A nice citadel to round off that one. Now it's just the Ioba and the Myogi. Now the Myogi, I have no fear of him, but this guy actually kind of knew what he was doing. I got the sense because he sailed directly into the Cap Circle, which told me maybe I should play this a little more cautiously. So now his salvo comes in and actually does some serious, causes some, it says moderate, but for how much health I have, it's a little bit more than moderate. I send shells into there, earn the Confederate Award, which is much harder to do in World of Warships. You have to, I think you have to do like 20% of the enemy's HP to 6 different ships. It's a lot of ships to hit, so That was cool. Oh, lost one of my turrets. He had a knack for destroying my turrets. He got that one. And then he got another one. This bastard. But I'm going to start bringing my guns around. He's burning. He's on fire. It's unfortunate for him. Send 2 turrets in. One is reloading. One is damaged. There we go. Fat hit there. And now one of my rear turret is about to reload. So I'm turning the ship away. And I'm going to use my rear turret to try and polish him off. But this guy's going down. And he's going down quick. Incoming shells. And he gets knocked out by a friendly ship. So, why was that game special? I mean, look at that XP. Now, granted, I was running equal speed Charlie London flags, but 2300, 2500, I can't read. Base XP, that's pretty cool, right? And I did over 170,000 damage. That's wild, you know. And I took more than 100% of my ship's actual health capacity, thanks to my repair abilities, if I'm not mistaken. So it was a special game. It's my new highest damage mark in a game. It's also my new highest kill mark, and also I believe my new highest XP mark. So very, very cool. I hope you enjoyed that game. And if you haven't given World of Warships a try, I encourage you to do so. It's worth a try, even if you're not really into ships. You know, just give it a go. It's worth it. But anyway, thanks for watching. I've been Corny Swiss. I'll see you next time.